So you guys know I love watching documentaries, and the more disturbing they are, the better. Humans by nature are more likely to watch something related to disaster and destruction than they are something positive. We see events and we like interpreting them, how we're happy that whatever it is that's happening isn't happening to us. What would we do if it was? I always thought I was weird growing up for liking all the dark stuff when everyone else would rather be watching a comedy, and there I was like, what about murder? What is up, you guys? Hope you're having an awesome day. I'm your host Eamon Hassan, and welcome back to another video. Today we're getting dark with the top 10 disturbing documentaries you need to watch. Starting us off with number 10 are the confession tapes. Oh my god, I watched the first episode of this a few years ago at my sister's place, and I got so disturbed I did not go home and sleep at home. I was like, no, I'm not sleeping over there. Ain't no one killing me today. Haha, no. Released on Netflix back in 2017, the show is a true crime documentary series that features a bunch of false confessions that ultimately lead to wrongful convictions. And they go into detail about the undercover sting operations that police undertake in order to get these people to confess to something they didn't do. It's dirty and it's horrible to just watch people getting manipulated like that, but you can't take your eyes away at the same time. There's 2 seasons, so around 11 episodes, so it's definitely doable if you need a bit of a scare one night. I highly recommend it. Coming in at number 9 is Trial by Media. So I finished this one myself a few weeks ago, and it was disturbing but needed, if that makes any sense. It came out on Netflix this year, and it showcases how criminal cases and people's views can be so impacted by the media and its portrayal of events. And of course, I know we all know this already, but the documentary explores a memorable trial in each episode. For example, the first rape case trial to ever be televised in history, and how many supporters the perpetrators got after being convicted despite them being the bad guys. It's super interesting and very much worth the watch. You realize how easily extensive media coverage can affect the outcome of these trials. Everyone likes courtroom dramas like Suits, so imagine the real thing. At number 8 we have The Nightmare. Now if you want to meet the demons in your mind and the ones roaming around your bed when it's pitch black, then this is the documentary for you. Released in 2015, the docu-film focuses on sleep paralysis and everything that comes with it. The inability to move or speak or even react to whatever nightmare they're seeing. Sleep paralysis can induce hallucinations and physical experiences of the darkest of nature. The film had a bunch of participants share their experiences and then they recreated it. I'd probably hallucinate being underwater with a massive great white coming my way. I may not be able to move, but I can still definitely my bed. Filling our number 7 slot is Going Clear. I feel like every few years my obsession with Scientology comes back and I start watching all these documentaries and movies about it, and I'm like, madness! This is a madness! No, it's not madness. No, this is a pyramid scheme, people. So released on HBO back in 2015, Going Clear is a 2-hour documentary showing the true nitty-gritty parts of the Church of Scientology. How members of the cult threaten and blackmail other members, and if you leave the church, they literally harass you. What other religion makes you pay thousands of dollars to achieve a higher level of enlightenment? The church drains your bank account in any way possible. Sea Org members sign their lives away by signing a billion-year contract and get a few dollars a week as allowance for all the shit that they do. It's such a secretive organization. No one has seen Kelly Miscavige in public for years, so it's like, did they kill her? What did they do to her? Did Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes divorce because of the church? Most likely. How can so many people follow a religion that comes from a science fiction novel? Keyword: fiction. Now at number 6 is Madness in the Fast Lane. Now I included the case of this documentary a while ago in another video, but here's the general premise. Back in May of 2008, Swedish twin sisters Ursula and Sabina Eriksson were filmed repeatedly running across a busy M6 highway. They were hit by oncoming traffic multiple times, and then Ursula even went under the wheels of a large truck, yet remained completely unharmed. As the twins were being talked to by police, one of them gets free and runs right in front of an oncoming lorry, and then the other one runs out and gets hit by a car. The lorry twin is in critical condition, but the other one is remarkably fine despite being in an accident that would usually kill someone. After being released, Sabina ends up stabbing a man to death a few days later, and apparently they both suffer from a very rare form of shared psychosis, where the mental health of one influences the other one's sanity. The documentary tries to make their behavior make sense with the help of a criminal psychiatrist. Coming in at number 5 is Dreams of a Life. This one really makes makes you think about who would truly miss you if you died. Released back in 2011, this drama documentary tells the story of Joyce Carol Vincent, a woman who was found dead in her London apartment back in 2006. Only problem was, she had died in December of 2003 and no one had noticed she was gone for 3 years. Her body was surrounded by her still-wrapped Christmas presents and the TV on. How unbelievably sad. By the time they found her, her body had decomposed so much that there was no way to figure out how she had even died. So the documentary interviews people who knew Joyce, friends, exes, even acquaintances, to try and find out how someone can die so close to a busy street in one of the most populated cities in the world and not be noticed. And number 4 is Tabloids. This docu-film came out back in 2010 and it tells us about the love story of Joyce McKinney and Kirk Anderson. I mean, no, I wouldn't go as far as to call it that. But the story goes as normal. Boy and girl meet, they fall in love, but the boy turns out to be Mormon, the girl is not, and he becomes a missionary and is sent to London without even telling the girl or breaking up with her. See, not so common. Joyce became so paranoid about the church keeping them apart, she hired a pilot and bodyguard and went to London and essentially kidnapped Kirk. She took him to a house she had rented with handcuffs and other toys and repeatedly assaulted him, but she of course said everything was consensual. Kirk claims she had said she would continue until she got pregnant and actually forced him into her car at gunpoint. He then proposed to her in hopes that she would free him, and by then he was already reported as a missing person. The authorities eventually got involved, but seeing and hearing both sides of the story is just so disturbing. Like, Joyce literally thinks she's done nothing wrong. You may also know this case as the Mormon Sex in Chains case, which kind of sounds better than what I said. Filling at number 3 slot is Jesus Camp. I feel like Islamophobia has reached such an all-time high right now, and this documentary shows that pretty clearly. Most of you have probably heard of the 2006 documentary Jesus Camp because it was huge. It follows Kids on Fire, a Christian summer camp for kids where you'd think they'd be learning hymns and sermons and making friendship bracelets, but it's not even close. Their days are filled with preaching Islamophobia, homophobia, and a militant, violent call of action to anyone that doesn't have Christian beliefs. The camp teaches kids how they have prophetic powers and how they have to take America back in the name of Christ. They literally tell the kids that Muslim children in the East are taught the same thing about Americans and how they get taught how to use bombs and weapons in their own summer camps at that age, and of course how they should be doing the same. People have said it's the most authentic representation of the evangelical Christian community. I've actually seen this and it was pretty messed up. It attracted so much controversy that the camp actually got shut down, or rather rebranded. Now at number 2 is TITICUT FOLLIES. If there's one genre of documentaries I love more than any other, it's definitely the ones featuring old mental asylums and institutions and how everything worked back then. Yo, this video is making me realize I'm dark as hell. Either way, this documentary was released back in 1967, so it's probably the oldest one on the list, but it explores the lives of the patient inmates of Bridgewater State Hospital for the criminally insane. It shows you how badly these people were treated, their empty cells, the fact they were force-fed and stripped in public. The superintendent would only let the director film subjects who were deemed the most mentally competent, which made the whole thing that much shadier. You guys have seen American Horror Story Asylum, like going on behind the scenes, we all know it. When it was released, the state got involved, claiming it violated the patient's privacy despite them all saying it was okay to be filmed. But really, the state was just worried because the documentary was making the state-owned institution look bad because it was bad. It was banned multiple times but then released again in 1991, and by that time it had already helped so many abusive psychiatric wards shut down. So I mean, go then. And finally, at number 1 is Abducted in Plain Sight. This one was the most popular true crime docu-film on Netflix for a really long time, and I can't even tell you how many times I hovered over it before working up the balls to actually watch it. It's released back in 2017. The film follows the kidnapping of Idaho teenager Jan Broberg Felt by her neighbor Robert Berchtold. And he didn't just kidnap her once, he kidnapped her twice. Reddit user Heather P12 even said it was plain creepy and messed up from the very first second. It was voted as best documentary 4 times, so I mean, you may as well watch it. And that is it for today's video, guys. Before I end it, I'm gonna be shouting out comments from top 10 scariest people who are still in hiding part 6. The first one is from Zaya Dodol, who said, "Oh, I have allergies too, I felt." No, you may have allergies, but you don't have allergies like me. I'm literally crippled by them every single day. Without fail, I will have a swollen eye every single day without fail. It's a joke. The next one is from TGA Gaming, who said top 10 who are still in hiding. Number 1, Dad's going to get milk. I saw this joke so many times in the comments, but I couldn't help laugh. It's so good. I feel bad for laughing, but you know, can't help it. And the last one is from Casa Hart's wife, who said, "Hey Eamon, your outfit looks super early 2000s and I like it." Thank you! See, there's comments like yours which are positive, and then the other ones are like, "Oh, what is she doing? She looks like a pirate." Well, okay, I'ma loot your treasure, bitch. And that is it, you guys. I've been your host for this one, Eamon Hassan, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!